Has everyone arrived?
Everyone is already waiting inside.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's join them!
Please, wait a moment. Before attending the meeting, I hope you can
What do you need?
promise me that you won't commit to anything too reckless.
What do you think?
Okay.
Let's move out. Everyone's here so early! But
We already discussed things a bit.
Hey, where have you been? I've missed you too.
Are you ready? Very well.
are you sure this is gonna work?
I gotta admit, it's bold.
The point of discussion is to arrive at a solution. Let's cut the small talk and move to...
You're making pie.
You're finally done.
I have some other stuff to take care of. Catch you all? Come on, don't give me that face. I know what you're going to say.
That's what I wanted to hear. Well, Traveler, Paimon, judging from your expressions, the meeting must have been quite productive.
You can tell?
I'm not that good at scheming or strategy, but I can sense people's emotions. And based on your reaction, things must have gone quite well.
Paimon's a little worried.
To be honest, I feel the same. But you're already some of the most capable people I know. So, your deeds speak for themselves.
Candace, we stayed behind to tell you that, although you won't be coming with us, we'll be sure to...
I'm very glad to hear that. I've said the same thing to everyone here today as I said to you when you arrived. You're safe. Only when you're safe can the plan be successful. So please, you're welcome. And thank you for taking... Good luck. With that...
Sounds good. I'll go make some preparations.
Okay.
I'll hit them!
Have you finished saying your goodbyes?
Yeah! Also, Candace...
Yes, she did. But I think my point, our plan is not child's play. We won't be able to achieve anything if we're simply careful. We must go beyond that and full... I hope this is clear to you.
Huh? Shouldn't you be saying something more cheerful to boost our...
Didn't we already do that during the meeting?
You can never have enough words of encouragement.
In that case, Candace can cuddle you to your heart's content while I continue to remind you of the seriousness. We all have our jobs to do, after all. It's like how some people can be put in charge of logistics while others will fight on the front lines.
Speaking of the front lines...
Of course. Compared to the mercenaries, I'm merely a feeble scholar. But the advantage of not being a mercenary is that I get to stay in a safer place and just think about that mercenary who lost his mind. Mercenary groups are facing...
Well, being a scholar is also a high-risk occupation.
I'm not like the rest of them. Even among members of the same species, some will exhibit far more potential.
This guy. Paimon still remembers when those mercenaries...
All intellectuals are lunatics in the eyes of fools. I'll take... Do you remember the record we saw in the King Deshret ruins? It mentioned forbidden knowledge. You have a good map. Forbidden knowledge has the power to drive people insane, but this fact has never been shared with the public. Even I, who has worked in the academia for some time, was never, I think. Those mad scholars and mercenaries we encountered may have all fallen victim to the corrupting qualities of forbidden, but the academia has always held a different view. They've always believed that symptoms of madness are a side effect of human contact with divine knowledge as mere mortals. Come to think of it, perhaps the academia has also never understood the true nature of forbidden knowledge, and thus always approached the issue from the wrong direction. The Withering, Elazar, and the Sandstorms. Don't you think what is happening right now across Sumeru is rather similar to the forbidden knowledge pollution that occurred in the desert thousands of years ago?
But Paimon thought that Irminsul's disease is what caused the withering in the sea. At least, that's what Tainari told. Wait a second.
Ah, you've connected the dots. The cause of Irminsul's illness may precisely be the pollution from forbidden knowledge.
But if that's the case, what should we do? This is huge!
Wait. Why do you think Lesser Lord Kusanali would have a solution to this situation?
You mean, it's related to the scene you saw when you passed out in the Avidia forest? That whole...
In that case, it's imperative that we rescue Lesser Lord Kusanali. Only by working with her to save Irminsul can we to make sure we're still on track. I would like to check on the state of some of our preparatory...
Where are we going?
To an Eremite base.
Let's move out.
Oh, you made it.
Huh? What are they doing here?
I gave them some technical work to do.
Ah, it's the scribe. And is that the traveler I see?
How's the work going?
Ah, yes! We have fixed the devices according to your instructions. One of them is already ready for use, while the others are still under repair.
Aren't those devices for can knowledge extraction? What are...
Look here.
Huh? More can knowledge? Are you going to put...
What's that look on your face?
Paimon's a little scared, but...
That's an... Anyway, we're not going to use this just yet. As I mentioned during the meeting, this knowledge capsule contains a decree I drew up in the past. The academia should also have their own copy. And a traveler. I want you to record something into this capsule. Do you believe we can save Lesser Lord Kusanali? Good. Conviction is the most important now. Please get ready.
You want us to record our conviction?
Yes.
Paimon is still...
I understand. But trust me, Paimon, this is something we have to do. It's best if you can do as I... Because, to achieve this impossible task, it sounds like you'll need to fool your own heart first. Although it may feel like a trick, self-encouragement may be the most important...
Paimon can see the point you're trying to make.
Imagine this. We have orchestrated our plan and successfully rescued Lesser Lord Kusanali. As a result, everything went without a hitch, and everyone recognizes and praises our achievement. Now, open your eyes. Here.
What's this?
Read it out loud. It's done.
Is your head okay? Does anything hurt?
It's just a recording. There should be no...
But what was the point of doing this?
And that's perfectly fine. In any case, these capsules aren't meant to be used...
Huh? What do you mean?
Have you forgotten? Our plan needs to account for those who have long relied on the Akasha. You may find it hard to believe, but for those people, everything the Akasha transmits to them is nothing short. Imagine if you've been using a device like the Akasha since the day you were born, and this device has always support after all that time. What do you... A slave to orders, and that's why rules are so In addition, those who understand the rules can delineate boundaries and identify gray areas.
But why would...
You could say that those kinds of ambiguous zones can be very...
Things you're interested in are really out there.
Anyway, that's enough chit-chat. I'm going to take those two to work on some small projects. You can head to Caravan Rebot and start preparing for the next step.
Small project?
We're going to tinker with the Akasha terminal and make a few...
I thought we agreed on a plan. How can you go back on your word?
The plan is too radical and carries a high risk for casualties. I've given it a lot of thought.
But it's still the best plan we have. As a former Matra, you of all people should be able to see the bigger...
I did. And that's how I saw the danger behind these so-called advantages.
Huh? Why are you guys arguing?
My friend, you're just in time. Why don't you help me?
We agreed to work out a plan at the meeting. As mercenaries, you're familiar with the local environment, so you'll take care of the specifics. But then, had I known Al-Haytham would give you those kinds of suggestions,
Look, you already know that we're all on the same side here.
Mercenaries place a lot of importance on their bonds of friendship, but also will not hesitate to make sacrifices if they deem the situation to be sufficient.
Seems you really do understand the ways of the desert.
Traveler, Paimon. This is also... Rahman's plan is to have me work with the Caravan Rebot guards in my capacity as a Matra. We will arrest the mercenaries and escort them into some...
Wait, how can we...
We can't get through that wall easily, remember? Caravan Rebot would never let so many unregistered members of the Eremite. My plan will clear us of any possible suspicion, and also let us enter the city as a big group.
That also sounds like something Al-Haytham told you. Am I right?
Doesn't Al-Haytham know how dangerous this plan is?
Of course he does. He told me, there is no perfect plan, but this can get the job done. He also said that with the help of Sino and the Traveler, our chance of success would increase significantly. I never blindly trust anyone, and I've always had a good eye for people. I think he made a number...
If I make the arrests alone, I can control myself and prevent you from getting hurt. But I can't guarantee that kind to make the whole thing more convincing. You'll need to resist to some degree. I'm okay with the deaths of enemies. But now that we're allies, I'm against...
I can't believe a Matra would actually care about us. I've lived a hard life, and I can say that people like...
I've always treated my allies with honesty and respect.
Now you're making this hard for me.
Hey, is there something we can do to help? We can help fight some of the mercenaries, which should reduce the number of times you'll have to struggle directly with the guards. That should help at least a little bit.
Sino, on behalf of my people, I thank you for your kindness. But this is a mission we cannot turn our backs on. We strongly value the lives of our friends. But the goal... We have no fear of casualties, because we crave the spoils of victory. So please, lend us your support. We will show you...
Well, now that you've put it that way, but remember, you need to follow the plan and not do anything reckless. Candace made it very clear that since you and I both recognize the significance of this operation, There should be no more animosity between the followers of the Dendro Archon and those of King Deshret.
Okay, you have a deal.
The guards should be stationed in the courtyard nearby. You can find them there.
Because things are so, ergo they are such.
Guards!
General Mahamatra! To what do we owe the honor?
Keep your voice down. This is a secret operation. I'm going to arrest a large criminal gang near this location. According to the Academia's Guide and Regulations on Secret Operations...
Ah, of course, of course. Mahamatra Sino's order is the Academia's order. But who exactly are you planning to arrest, and how many people are you expecting? Depending on the scale of this operation...
They're a squad of eremites whose number is comparable to Ain el Akmar in Port Ormos. They're involved in the theft and resale of supplies.
As many as Ain al Akmar? This should definitely be classified.
And I suggest that you report this to your superiors as soon as possible. And treat it as a top priority.
Got it. Please wait a moment. I'll contact them immediately.
Because this is work. Because I trust you.
Paimon can't believe you're still in the mood to chat. This whole thing is... Aren't you even a little worried? What if these guards already know that you have betrayed the Even if that guard doesn't know, their superior...
We discussed this, remember?
The Caravan Rebot operation is of great importance. But don't worry. The guards there shouldn't know that Sino has stepped down.
How can you be so sure?
First, the other Matra still don't know why Sino has left, which proves that the Academia has been covered.
Second, this is a crucial moment for the Academia's God creation plan. If something were to happen to the General Mahamatra, it's bound to it no matter how you look at it. They don't seem interested in sharing the news of...
A reasonable inference.
Which brings us to our next issue. I'm sure some of you have been wondering if the prediction function of the Akasha will affect our...
The Akasha is still in operation, so I must remain on high alert. Actually, considering the power of the Akasha, it's quite strange that it hasn't already tried to interfere with my actions.
I've given that a lot of thought. For now, I don't think you'll need to worry. If you remember, when you first came to Aru Village, all your actions and routes were predicted by the Akasha. It even gave that information to those who came. But things like that never happened again after we met up with the...
That's true. But why?
Look at it from a different angle. Why do you think the Akasha will...
Because my personal data has been entered into the Akasha.
That's true. But the key to this question is, how well can the Akasha make predictions? Haven't you ever thought about it? Just how can it do this?
Because the Akasha controls the entirety of
The Academia firmly believes that all human actions can be explained.
By sorting and analyzing entered data, the Akasha can derive behavioral logic and predict the actions of those who fit an existing logic model. However, at the risk of sounding like an advocate for fallacies, can everyone truly be considered logical at all times? Emotions are part of our behavioral logic. But can you guarantee that every experience of the same joy or pain would be equal? Sino, in the past, you've always worked alone. In the absence of another person who could sway you or your thoughts, the Akasha could produce decisive and principled. You were used to solving problems alone. That's why the Akasha could figure you out. But now, you've joined a team. And I believe our thoughts and logic have intermingled and weaved themselves together to become a complicated, chaotic mess. Any one of us could potentially disagree. The Akasha lacks data on these interactions, and it's impossible for it to predict your actions in the future based on your decisions in the past. After all, there's probably a limit to just how... So, in my opinion...
Makes sense to me. I agree. The Akasha is not alive, And I don't think we can be completely controlled by something without...
I guess there are things that even the Akasha cannot calculate. And people will not be forever.
Paimon's so glad.
Next time, pay attention during...
Will do.
Just remember to stay vigilant.
Footsteps!
General Mahamatra, we were not expecting your presence here. I'm the security officer of the Grand Deshret Desert District. My name is Luxembarbo.
This is my assistant, the Traveler. He will be working with me. The construct next to him is for his work.
Beep! Construct, beep!
What a great honor to meet you. Your golden hair is as bright as the sun. And, is this...
Have you made a decision regarding the matter I mentioned to your subordinate?
It seems to be a dire situation, so of course you will have our full cooperation. To be perfectly honest, I've always...
There's no need for flattery.
Yes, sir.
Take your most elite platoon and follow me to the eastern side of the district. We will carry out the operation there.
Understood.
Map.
Hurry, bring the map!
In 2 days, we will engage Rahman's Eremites. Any questions about the...
None at all, sir.
Good. See you then.
Yes, sir.
Maybe hanging around the General Mahamatra isn't so bad after all. Everyone's so respectful towards us.
This is all due to the absolute authority of the Academia. And now get ready.
If you're not sure what to do, it's time for the operation! Let's go meet Sino! I see everything! Everyone hold hands! Look! Over there! Our helpers have arrived already! Let's hurry over!
Wait a moment.
Ah! Oh, it's you!
You're my assistant, remember? Being my assistant, you must stay with me. Now let's head over there.
It's General Mahamatra and his assistants.
We meet again.
You're here.
It's to show how important we think the operation is. Since this is a big case for the Academia, we are prepared.
I'm glad to hear your sense of resolve. Remember, they are our only leads for the case. If they don't...
Understood.
Everyone! The Eremites are approaching from the west!
Make preparations and be ready for combat. Halt!
Oh? What a warm welcome! What judging from those shiny weapons in your hands, it seems like you're not...
Rahman, the Academia has caught wind of your smuggling and illicit sales. If you value your life, I advise you to surrender.
Who are you supposed to be?
I'm not here.
Oh, nobody's giving me... Brothers!
I see everything! Hold the line!
Illusion shattered!
Everyone hold hands. I see everything. Rest and rebuild. Take.
It's over.
We have subdued them. The operation is now over. All Aramite mercenaries and related personnel in the area have been arrested.
Ah, you pitiful Dendro Archon dogs! You'll
I'm afraid.
King Deshret will curse.
Silence!
Oh,
Restrain them and take them back to Caravan Rebot. Count their numbers and send them to the Academia.
Yes, sir!
Mahamatra Sino, I will now take my leave. If you need further
Understood. You are dismissed.
There they go.
Let's talk elsewhere.
This part of the plan went really...
Yes. Things...
That's fantastic! And that punch you gave Ram on there sure looked...
Once we're done here, I'll return to Caravan Rebot and oversee the group's transport.
Yeah, you're the reason why everything...
It's not the time to celebrate yet. Go join up with her. She will need you to introduce...
Speaking of which, is it really okay for us not to share the full plan with Tainari? What if he'll feel miffed about it and refuse to work with us?
I have a very close relationship with Tainari. Given how well we know each other, I believe my message alone should be enough to bring him to our side. If we need help, Tainari, get ready for the next phase of the plan.